Hi everybody, it's me, Carrie, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. It is the afternoon here in Michigan, and it is a cold day. Cold. It's not supposed to be as cold as it was yesterday, but I literally have been trying to get out from underneath the blanket that I was covered in this morning while watching TV and eating my breakfast, and it's like after 12 o'clock. But I'm here. Yay. Okay, so for today's Saturday sip, we're going to do something fun. I want to show you some of the products we're using. I'm going to be using a stamp from, two stamps from the Shaded Summer stamp set, which is in the annual catalog. And Celebration has, and you only have like a week left. Is it a whole week? I'm not even sure if it's a whole week. You have until the 31st. For a $100 order, you can get these awesome dies that will cut out a couple of the shapes. Let me show you. It'll cut out these 3 shapes. Okay, so that's this one, this one, this one. And then these are just some other flowers and leaves and stuff that you can use to make like a whole different card. So even if you don't have the stamp set, it's still very useful. Celebration item, and that's the Summer Shadows dies. And they will not be available afterwards. So if you're thinking about this stamp set, which has some like really awesome sentiments in it, just really, I mean, I like the flowers too, but I have a thing about sentiments. I can't help myself. So anyway, that's what this is from. So I'm going to be using this shape, and then I'll also be doing the happy birthday. I'm going to be using the Time Worn Type folder, and here's what it kind of looks like. I know at first glance you might go, is that like a world image? No, it's supposed to look like typing, and that's been very worn out. So that's what that is. I'm also going to be using this fun celebration paper. It goes with all the hand penned. This is called Beautifully Penned. It's the 12 by 12. It's all black and white images. So you can color it. You can do all kinds of fun things. But this is also a celebration item that you will not be able to get after the 31st. So 2 really important celebration items. The dies for Shaded Summer and the Beautifully Penned Designer Series paper. So those are all the things that we're going to be using today. All right. So it's not like you've never seen me do this before. You have. But I thought it would be fun to show again how to go about coloring a stamp. And I'm going to tell you that the first thing I did was I used a lighter pink. This happens to be polished pink. It's one of the in color markers. And I went through and I colored all of the flowers. So I'm going to stand up so I can see if you guys can see this very well. Hi, Terry. I know it's freezing out, right? It's so cold. Where are you from, Terry? I'm in Michigan. Farmington Hills, actually. So, anyway, I went through. I can actually see what people are saying because I'm standing, which I normally don't do, but I knew I wanted this to be a little bit closer. I'm not sure how the lighting is on it. Sometimes when I get closer, because my lights are lower, it's darker, but I wanted you guys to get the idea. Okay, so I did all of those in the light polished pink, and I say light because I'm also going to be using a darker color. This is Melon Mambo. This is from the annual catalog. And then I'm using the 2 in color greens, Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen for the leaves. So I'm going to start with the lighter color, and again I'm using the brush end. Oh, okay. Yeah, Michigan is bigger than I think that people that are not from Michigan, I don't think they realize that Michigan's a pretty big state. Okay, so I'm going to just lightly color in all of this area, all of the leafy things. I'm not doing this very well, I can tell, because normally I don't hold my stamp in my hand when I'm doing stuff. So there's part of it. Oh, and I see I missed a flower. So, okay. I'll go and do some correcting here. I still have a little bit of a sniffle, so I apologize for that. I saw some more spots. Okay, and if you hold, I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you hold your stamp, you can kind of see where it's wet and where it isn't for anything that you missed. And then I went through with the darker Melon Mambo. Is that what I said this was? I think it is. Yep, Melon Mambo. And I highlighted things like I knew I wanted the center of that one. I did just a little bit of like out. And then on this one, I did the center. And I wanted to go around the edges of the stamp. Not a whole lot, just getting some in there. On this little tiny one, you know, sometimes buds are a little bit different. So I'm doing this really quickly. So it may not look very good when I stamp it. But of course I did another one for you guys. So then I'm going to breathe hot air on it. It's called huffing. And then just press down. Yes, I will be at Mega Meet, Terry, booth 320. So come and see me. I'm really excited to be back with everybody. But, oh, I forgot to put the dark spots in. But anyway, you can see how it just barely gives some different color. It's really kind of hard to see. Let me show you. And then I cut it out with one of the dies from the Celebration die set. And here that is. So you can see where I put some of the darker green on, which I forgot to do. And here's some of the darker pinks. And it gives it just the slightest variation because these colors are very close. And that's what I wanted, just a slight variation. Okay, so now this is a piece of soft succulent, which I then ran through the embossing folder, the time-worn type, which I showed you guys. And so I'm going to be using that. And then for the sentiment, I use the Happy Birthday. And I am going to use Memento Black ink, Tuxedo Black, if you want to be particular. Okay. Easy peasy. Then what I did was I took this fun stamp. This is called Label Me Fancy. And if you look at it, it's got the label. Then it has a place for a hole and a place for a slot if you wanted to use that on your punch. I did not. So then I'm going to punch this out and kind of center it like that. And then what I did was I put it through my trimmer because this was too big and I trimmed it off. Let me see if you guys can see this. I trimmed off this piece on both sides and I ended up with, oh, I lost it. Okay. Well, I don't have my trimmer handy, so I'm just going to use my snip. So this may not be as nice as I wanted, but you'll get the idea. Yeah, that's not too good. I cannot cut a straight line. In case you guys were wondering, seriously, I cannot. I'm terrible with like an X-Acto knife and stuff. Terrible. Okay, cool. Terry, I'm excited that you're going to stop by. Yay. I will have a ton of retired Stampin' Up! Product because I didn't have my my sale, which I normally would have had because of COVID. So I've got so much. And it's marked down really low because there's so much of it. Okay, so now I have all of my pieces. I'm going to sit down now so I can't see what you're saying. And my base piece is going to be with Basic Black. Okay. Oh, I forgot one of the things I was going to do. So, I like this, but it's really kind of hard to see unless you have it in the right lighting. It's hard to see the etching. So I wanted the etching to stand out a little bit more. So, I grabbed my soft succulent and some scrap paper and my awesome blending brush. And I'm just going to rub it on there. I'm not pressing very hard at all, so I'm not getting a lot of color, as you can see. Not very much at all. Normally I tell you to, like, you know, stamp off, because see, like, I got a dark spot there, but it's okay because I want this to look kind of like messy, dirty, so I'm not panicking about having any dark spots. I just wanted to kind of make sure that the some of the writings and stuff became more legible. Although I don't know what it says, and I honestly don't know if you could read it. But maybe, hey, I know I've seen a few things in it when I've stared at it long enough. All right, so because my base is black, obviously I wanted to do something on the inside. So I have a piece of basic white, a piece of So Saffron, which matches that, and a piece of the Designer Series paper, which I'm also going to put on the front. So I'm going to add these to the inside. I don't often show you guys that I decorate the insides of cards, because I don't always. But I think it's mostly because I've gotten out of the habit, and so then I forget to do it. But I just think it really finishes off a card nicely if you've done something to the inside of it as well. Now, this isn't anything fancy. I mean, you can definitely do some fancy stuff. Okay, I'm going to center that, and then I already know that I made this longer than, and crookeder. Crookeder, is that a word? Probably not. Because I wanted to trim it by hand to be sure it was where I wanted it to go. And when I trim it by hand, I take my scissors and I sort of shove it up against the thing I want to match. Especially when it's short like that, it makes it a lot easier. And then I'm just going to set that on the inside of the card. And you can decide, do you like these things on the bottom of the card, on the top of the card? I kind of, you know, it's hit or miss with me. I think I'm probably going to put this one on the bottom. But it would look just as good on the top, right? So, hey, let's be different. I'll put it on the top. Because you do often see them on the bottom. In fact, I'm going to change my mind again and go back to doing it on the bottom. And I see that this is still overhung. I don't know if you guys can see that. Like that. So I'm going to, again, just do a quick trim. It's so tiny. But I'm funny like that. I think it's going to show up on the black. I hope I'm not making a mess, but that's also a possibility. All right. So then I will set this on the inside. Because you can't, I mean, you can write on dark if you have a white chalk marker, but it's just nicer I think, to put it on the inside. So now I am going to just go ahead and adhere the Designer Series paper to the front of the card using my seal adhesive. Oh my goodness. There we go. Crooked as always. If you get a card from me, you will find things put on it crooked. It's just the way it goes. All right, so I decided I wanted some ribbon, and I know I pre-cut a piece, but I think I dropped it. Oh, I found it. Yay me. I love when I find things. All right, so I'm going to take this. This is the beautiful glittered organdy ribbon. It's basic black, and it's just so pretty. And in the mini catalog, we have it in white too. So I just love it. Isn't it gorgeous? I just love it. So in order to adhere that, I am just going to run adhesive on the back. You can see I missed a spot right there. Okay. And then I'm just going to kind of guesstimate where I want it. I'll set that there because I know it's going to go behind the happy birthday. So it'll give me an idea of where I want it to be. Okay. All right. Now I can stick that onto the front of the card. I think I'm going to do it a little crooked because it gives it a little bit more visual interest sometimes when you just do things a little bit weird. And hey, it's me, and so weird is always fun for me. I like weird. Put one up there and one there. And I think I'll use some of these end halves here for a couple of the smaller pieces. You guys cut your dimensionals. I cut my dimensionals often. Even the minis, I will occasionally cut those a little short too. Now, this is where there's a challenge. It's a little tiny piece, right? So I usually just cut a skinny little piece. And it never likes me. It always wants to fight with me. But that's okay. Let it fight with me. I'm a big girl. I can take it. Okay. Ta-da! And then you just, of course, peel off the background. I apologize for the sniffles. It's very frustrating to still have them. But, hey, it's that time of year, right? Especially here in Michigan. We never know how to dress. I mean, we just don't. And I'm going to tuck this piece underneath. No, I'm not. I was going to tuck it underneath, but then I remembered I put dimensionals on it. So the stem is meant to be a little crooked. You see how it kind of, but it would be okay if I stood it up straighter too. I just wanted it to fill more of the card. And then for the sentiment, I am going to use some halfsies and some whole ones. So I'm going to use the halfsies on the ends because they're actually going to stick to the ribbon. But I'm going to do whole ones at the top and the bottom. And it's kind of overkill for this, I know. But because it's going over ribbon and I didn't do anything to hold the ribbon down. I could have run some adhesive. But I want this to kind of catch both the card and the ribbon so that it holds the sentiment in place, because sometimes just having it stick to the ribbon makes it kind of, you know, it doesn't stick down here and so it wants to wiggle. So this way it won't do that. It will actually press down and make the card. This is a pretty simple card because I didn't go through the steps of cutting it all, you know, cutting all the pieces for you because you guys can figure that out. And then I'm just going to set this right there. And voila! Super simple card, especially when you have the dies. Hi, Donna. So there you go. Super, super simple. I will tell you that this piece, the white designer series paper, is 1 inch, and this is about 1 1/4 for lining that. And then this, of course, is 4 1/4 or 4 by 5 1/4, as is this piece. This one, oh, I don't remember. Is my ruler handy? Let me see. Okay. Sorry about that. This one is just shy. It's like 3 1/8 by, oh, come on, 4 and, what is that? 5/8. So that's what that is. So I hope you guys like it. It was just something fun and simple to do for you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful, thank you, Pamela. I hope you have, and Terry, I hope you have a wonderful weekend and stay warm. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.